Dallas is on it.
A lot of speed on the line, on the floor for Dallas right now, Marv. It's Nowitzki and basically 4 guards. So they're going to be scrambling defensively, double teaming Duncan.
They try to trap Terry. Nowitzki finds Stackhouse. Nowitzki. Just under 5 remaining in the 4th. Duncan lost it. And a timeout called by the Mavericks as Dallas came up with the ball.
Well, there's that speed on the double team. Duncan tried to attack Nowitzki right away, but Harris alertly comes over, gets his hand on the ball, then has the presence of mind to call the timeout while he's on the floor.
5 going on 6 thrilling finishes. Aberration by Greg Popovich, getting away from the lineup that led the Spurs to 63 wins, going small ball. Here's Nowitzki. Rebounded by Van Horn and knocked out of his hands. Punch by Jason Terry that may have cost the Mavericks a deciding Game 6. And perhaps the series. We'll see how this develops. Ginobili is fouled. And it has come down to this with 4 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the 4th.
I think it's Van Horn, Marv, and if it is, it's number 6.
It is Van Horn. So he's fouled out with 9 points. Manu Ginobili will go to the line and we'll step away. Let's check in with Ernie Johnson back in Atlanta. All right, Ernie, and the question is, will the extra rest help Steve Nash, who has been laboring? He says he's ready physically.
It might help Sam Cassell, too. He used the rest, I'm sure, and now this Spurs crowd urging on their team for one stop. Try to get a tie at the other end, possibly with a 3.
Mavericks now lead by 3. Here's Terry. Whoa! 23 points for Jason Terry. That jumper is so effortless.
The rainbow, as you've called it several times in this series, and once again, Marv, Dallas goes small. Van Horn out of the lineup, but that's the problem. We give up the rebound to Tim Duncan.
The Dallas lead is 3. 3.5 remaining on the 4th. Parker digging in on Terry. Terry looked like Bowen tipped it from behind, but Terry able to get to that loose ball, and they have a new 24. Now Parker defending on Stackhouse. Howard, foul called on Duncan. Spurs have been in the penalty. That's 4 on Duncan. Howard will shoot 2.
Well, the mismatch, Stackhouse being guarded by Parker, that scrambles the Spurs defense. Nice pump fake, and clearly a foul on Duncan, who has spent an awful lot of time in this series complaining. In fact, there was an interesting exchange in Game 6, Marv, between Tim Duncan and Del Harris, the Dallas assistant coach, each going at each other regarding, Harris mentioned, hey, you complain too much, you're too good for that, during the middle of the game.
Josh Howard at the line for the first time tonight, a 73% free throw shooter during the season, and hits 1 of 2. Dallas 99, San Antonio 95, 3 minutes left in the 4th. Ginobili's had a big 4th quarter. Ginobili to Parker. Rebounded by Stackhouse. Parker slapped it away, and it's deflected out of bounds. Mavericks were looking for a foul, as were the Spurs.
Yeah, everybody wants every call at this point, and how can you blame them? Every possession so critical. The crowd doesn't like the call, but really, I think it was a good call by Bob Delaney. Not much contact, and give the ball back to Dallas. Now they've got to go into Dirk Nowitzki.
It's played by Bowen. Shot clock down to 7. Terry for 3. And a foul on Nowitzki over the back of Bowen. 3 on Nowitzki. And team foul number 4 on Dallas. San Antonio gets it back with 2:26 to go in this fourth quarter. Spurs have 2 full timeouts and a 20 remaining. Dallas with 2 full. Major possession right here. Duncan to the scoop. The Dallas lead is down to 2. It's the 3rd time tonight. San Antonio's been within 2 points. They've trailed by as many as 20. Just under 2 to go in the 4th. Howard draws the foul, so Josh Howard will go back to the line.
Well, ironically, Marv, Dallas has gone to this small lineup. All the talk all series about the Spurs having to deal with Dallas. Now Dallas has to deal with the Spurs, and Nowitzki cannot guard Tim Duncan on the block. Just too big and strong. But at the other end, Nowitzki finds Howard on a cut, and Howard will go back to the line for 2 free throws.
Foul charge to Finley. Howard 1 of 2 at the line. And with getting the treatment, Mavericks lead 100-97.
And Eric Dampier makes his way back into the ball game for Jerry Stackhouse. Avery Johnson decided there was no way he was going to watch Duncan go to work on Nowitzki again down on the post. So Dampier will be asked to slow down Tim Duncan.
Clutch free throws by Howard. 4-point Maverick lead. Duncan pops it out. Finley for 3. Yes! Michael Finley from downtown. San Antonio within a point. Finley's 3rd three-pointer. A minute 35 remaining in the 4th. Terry not able to hit. Rebounded by Duncan. Single coverage. Now here's the double. 10 on the shot clock. Duncan. And he'll head to the line. The foul on Dampier. That was really a 3-point play possibility. Eric Dampier has fouled out.
Well, you've got a decision to make here. If you're Avery Johnson, do you bring in the young, inexperienced Sagana Job? I think what we may see is an offense-defense situation from Avery. Maybe try to get his small, quick lineup on the floor offensively. And you see Stackhouse coming into the ballgame for Dampier. So that's exactly what Johnson will do. The problem is if the clock does not stop, then you can't get Jop in for defensive purposes on Duncan.
Duncan 16 of 21 at the line. Duncan has 38 points, which is a season high. The game is tied. Tied for the first time tonight as we approach 1 minute left in the 4th. Harris putting his speed on. Nowitzki passed on a 3. Nowitzki shot deflected short by Bowen. Here comes Parker on the open floor on the pull the back. San Antonio in possession. The game is tied at 1:01.
And the mismatch with Duncan down low with Nowitzki because Dallas was not able to sub.
Ginobili for 3. Yes! San Antonio leads for the first time tonight. Timeout, Dallas.
What a comeback from the Spurs. What a shot by Manu Ginobili. Take a look here at Jason Terry. Now he knows that Dirk Nowitzki can't guard Tim Duncan on the block, and because Job is not in the game, because Eric Dampier is not out there, Terry decides I got to stay down to help. But now watch as the play unfolds. Duncan goes back to Ginobili, who is so confident in these clutch situations. Knocks down the three. This play's going crazy. And Marv, we heard Tony Parker talk about how they could rip the heart out of this Dallas team with a victory here tonight. Wow, how deflating would this loss be for the Mavericks?
And Manu Ginobili, with much big game experience, a member of two champion San Antonio Spurs teams, a member of the Olympic gold medal team for his native Argentina. 21 points for Ginobili, 19 in the second half. Nowitzki goes right at Bowen, and the foul! So Nowitzki to the line with a chance to tie the game.
Well, 5 of the first games in this series have come down to the final possession, basically. Look at this move. I thought Nowitzki would turn for his customary jumper, but showing that newfound strength, aggressiveness, he gets all the way to the rim, draws the foul, and now a chance to tie.
Foul on Bowen, number 4. Robert Horry now will check in for San Antonio.
And Horry coming in just for rebounding purposes, Marv, because he has not been out there. A lot of fans saying, oh, they're putting in big shot Rob. But, you know, he has been off this entire series. Spurs are going to call a timeout after this free throw. They wanted Horry in for his size in case Nowitzki misses the free throw.
Correction on that foul. It's Ginobili, number 4, not Bowen. Nowitzki 12 of 13 at the line. He now has 35 points, and the game is tied at 104. All right. Thank you, Ernie. So 6 of the 7 games in this series have come down to the final seconds. Steve, San Antonio in possession. Dallas does not want to foul. They are over the limit, so I would think the Spurs will try to take as much time off the clock before attempting a shot.
Yeah, you got to run it all the way down more because Dallas does have a timeout left. So if they can secure a rebound with a couple seconds left, they can call the timeout, advance the ball to half court, and have a reasonable shot to win it. So I look for San Antonio to do exactly what they did in Game 4. Run it all the way down, go into Duncan. Maybe this time he attacks a little bit more rather than settle for a 12-foot jump hook. And you see San Antonio has all their shooters on the floor. Ginobili, Barry, Robert Horry, and Michael Finley. So no Tony Parker. So you know this ball is going into Tim Duncan.
21 and 6/10 seconds. Remaining on the fourth. Got a jump. Checked in defense on Tim Duncan as Horry inbounds. And Ginobili plays the clock down. Game tied at 104. 7th and deciding game of this Western Conference semifinal series. Down to 5, down to 4, down to 3. Ginobili squeezes through. Duncan on the follow. The shot blocked, and we go to overtime. For the second time this series, they will play overtime. Back at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Dallas and San Antonio will play a 5-minute overtime. Mavericks have already lost 2 players. The fouls, Eric Dampier and Van Horn have fouled out. 5 on Josh Howard, 4 on Devin Harris, 3 on Dirk Nowitzki, 4 apiece. Tim Duncan, Michael Finley, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. A poor shooting fourth quarter for Dallas. They had the hot hand early on, hitting their first 7 shots, 17 of their first 20. But they go 4 of 17 from the field. In the fourth quarter, San Antonio, 8 of 17. 9th OT game in postseason. That's a new NBA record. 9 overtime games.
And the lineup shuffle continues, Marv. Ginobili again chases down a loose ball, but Sagana Diop will start. Now, was he out there for just the tip or also to defend Tim Duncan? We'll see if Avery Johnson goes small when he gets a chance to substitute.
Duncan lost it, recovers, the tip, rebound Jop. Jop did a good job. Sagana Jop, who goes 7 foot, 280 pounds. Originally a first-round pick of the Cavaliers back in 2001. Spent 4 years with Cleveland. Emerged as a starter for Dallas in the second half of the season. Nice pass from Nowitzki. Howard scores, and Dallas recaptures the lead.
Great find from Nowitzki, who gets double-teamed. He senses that Ginobili is coming, looks for the open cutter, and that's Howard. Dallas off to the good start.
Ginobili goes right back to Duncan. Parker, yes. Tough angle shot over Nowitzki. Parker veering left and then pulls up to drain it.
But he knew he had the speed advantage with Nowitzki, so that 1 or 2 dribble move gave him enough space to get that shot off.
Game tied at 106. Jop set the screen. Jop from Terry, beautifully done. Screen and roll executed by the Dallas Mavericks.
What a find by Jason Terry, squeezing that pass through the defense. Jop's been a surprise here tonight offensively. 6 points in just 8 minutes.
Dallas with a 2-point edge. Traveling violation called on Duncan, backing his way on Jop.
Give Jop some credit, Marv. He did the old pull the chair out move. He had pressure on Duncan's back, released that pressure, and that caused Duncan to lose his balance a little bit.
Coming up on 3 minutes left in overtime. Good ball movement. Stackhouse. Yes. So Dallas has hit its last 4 shots, and they now lead 110-106. Ginobili went behind the back. Ginobili will go to the line. And let's see if it's Josh Howard. It's number 6. It is Howard. So he is the 3rd Maverick to foul out. Manu Ginobili to the line, and once again, here's Ernie Johnson back in Atlanta. All right, Ernie Ginobili knocks down the 2 free throws. The Dallas lead is 2.
And now Devin Harris has come into the ballgame for Howard, Marv. So if you're the Spurs, you double team Nowitzki, you make Harris beat you. Don't let Terry or Stackhouse get an open look.
However, Terry driving to the hoop is fouled. He was knocked down, and that'll put Terry at the line. Foul on Ginobili, that's number 5. So 2 shots for Terry, who hit his previous 2 at the line, and he's an 80% free throw shooter during the regular season. Strong game for Terry after serving that 1-game suspension. Point number 24 for Terry.
As you saw a moment ago on the graphic, Marv, this Dallas bench has come up so big tonight. Stackhouse with some huge buckets. Van Horn hit the 3 threes. And what about the resilience of this team?
Just under 2.5 remaining. And this overtime with Dallas up by 3, and Jason Terry will go to the line for his 2nd free throw. Mavericks looked like they were just going to blow out the Spurs, led by as many as 20, shot 69%. In the first half, they came out firing, hit their first 7 shots, 17 of the first 20. Things turning in the second half, and for a brief time off the Manu Ginobili 3-pointer, San Antonio did take the lead, but Dallas has come back. 3-point play by Nowitzki to tie the game at the end of regulation, and now the Mavs up by 4 points. Duncan Job's played it well. Duncan again, not able to hit.
Boy, Sagana Job could be the unsung hero tonight for his work on Duncan late, which is ironic because Avery Johnson had gone away from Job after the last couple of games.
Just under 2 left in overtime. Stackhouse to the fade. Yes, Jerry Stackhouse with another big bucket, and it's been a bounce-back game for Stackhouse, who had been quiet the previous 2. Mavericks now lead by 6. Parker, nowhere to go, lost it, able to recover. Duncan, strong move on Job. 114-110, Dallas.
Still plenty of time if you're San Antonio. No need to foul. A minute and a half, but they must make stops. They've got Bowen on Nowitzki.
41 points for Duncan. Foul called on Bowen. Non-shooting foul.
Marv, Duncan recognizes the double is not coming, so go right at the rim and take it at Job. That's what you have to do against a shot blocker. You can't go away from a guy with a reach like that. You got to get your body on him, go right into him, and Duncan gets a shot over Job.
Five on the 24. Terry with another rainbow. Rebound Finley. This may be the possession of the series for San Antonio. Down by 4, less than a minute to go, and it's knocked out of bounds by Jump.
Question now, if you're Dallas, do you double on Duncan? Do you come? Do you help Jop? You're up 4, so you might want to just stay with the single coverage. Make sure you don't give up an open 3.
Spurs with 13 on the 24. Duncan came up short, the tip missed. Rebound Nowitzki, and Duncan comes up hobbling.
Sagana Jop. Remember that name, Marv, the unsung hero. He has made life very difficult on Duncan here in the overtime.
Now Dallas in no hurry on this possession. Playing the clock, down to 3 on the 24. Terry from deep. That was the 3-point attempt. Rebounded by Job, slapped away by Bowen, and a foul. With 22 seconds to go in overtime. Foul on Bowen, that is number 5, and Job to the line. A 54% free throw shooter during the regular season.
Well, look at that reach. Job just getting his hand above Duncan's, and now he will go to the line for a couple of enormous free throws.
Tim Duncan in this overtime has had his difficulties, only 1 for his last 6. Although Duncan with 41 points has established a new playoff career high.
And Ori comes back into the ball game for rebounding purposes. San Antonio will call a timeout either way here.
Well, Jump hits 1 of 2, extends the Maverick lead to 5. 22.7 remaining. They have a 5-point lead.
Well, Spurs need a quick score, obviously, and then go for the steal, but more than likely you have to foul, and that's a problem because Mavericks an excellent free throw shooting team at 78%. They've got plenty of guys to choose from. Nowitzki at 90%, Terry at 80, Stackhouse 88. But San Antonio, they've got to either go to Ginobili on the quick penetration or right into Duncan.
Ori looking to inbound, and Dick Pavetta with the call, and a foul on Dallas.
And I believe that's going to be 1 free throw and the ball back, Marv, because the foul was committed before the ball was put into play.
It was Devin Harris. That's exactly what the call is. Finley to the line. And that's a potential big turnaround play. Finley hits this free throw. It cuts it down to 4 plus possession.
Well, watch Harris here as He jumps out to switch and gets in the way of Finley. And where that may come into play, Marv, is at the other end. You put Dallas on the line. That puts a lot more pressure on them to make both free throws rather than just one.
Greg Popovich taking a timeout. In overtime, Mavericks 115, Spurs 111. Huge break for San Antonio off that foul on Devin Harris. Before the ball was put in play, Finley hit the free throw, and now the Spurs have possession.
So if they can get a quick score here, Marv, cut it to 2 points, they put a lot of heat on Dallas to make 2 free throws at the other end. Otherwise, it's a one-possession game.
Finley will inbound. Ori, played by Nowitzki. Finley for 3. He was under pressure. He had to force it, and the foul is given. With 15.9 remaining, foul on Ori. Dallas to the line.
Well, that was terrific defense. Greg Popovich draws up a nice play, a little veer pick on Stackhouse, but he reads it, gets back to Finley, challenges the shot, forces that wild attempt. And how about the irony, Marv, if you're Michael Finley, after all those years in a Maverick uniform, you're unable to get past the Spurs, they let you go, you sign with the world champs, and now here you are on the verge of getting knocked out by the team that you gave your heart and soul to for so many years.
Terry 4 at the line, 80% free throw shooter. 26 points for Terry. Dallas by 5. San Antonio does have a 20-second timeout left. And Adrian Griffin, who has rarely been seen in this series, has come on now for Sagana Diop, who is certainly a major part of the story in overtime.
Griffin is in for 3-point defense. Dallas wants to switch everything. That's why they take Diop out, but the Spurs will call a timeout.
So the Spurs have used their final timeout. And Steve, this is a sparkling finish to what has been a sparkling series. 6 of the 7 games going down to the final second.
One of the great series that I've ever seen, and we talked to Greg Popovich before the game. He said if we played 20 games against these guys, it would probably be 10-10. Avery Johnson echoed those thoughts. Just incredibly evenly matched teams with 2 really different styles of play. It's been a fascinating series.
We're talking about it with Avery. He said, what if we play 21?
Yeah. Somebody's got to win if you have an odd number, don't they?
So the San Antonio Spurs, 3-time NBA champions, the defending champs, facing the possibility of being knocked out of the playoffs in this, the 7th and final game. They went 63-19. Best record in the history of the franchise. Opening round of the playoffs, knocked off Sacramento in 6. The team that has won 5 division titles the past 6 years. Down to 15 seconds left in overtime. Duncan takes a 3. Ginobili not able to handle it, and that will wrap it. 11 seconds to go. And this an impressive win for the Mavericks here in San Antonio. The foul is given. Nowitzki will go to the line with 9.9 remaining. And how about Dallas winning twice here in San Antonio? They will take the series in 7 and head to the Western Conference Final to face either the Suns or the Clippers. Mavericks making it to the conference final for only the 3rd time in the history of the franchise. They have never been to the NBA Finals.
Well, either way, they've got a difficult matchup. The Suns split the series with them. Clippers have played them well, but what's most impressive, Marv, is the manner in which they won this game after giving up that huge lead. Spurs end up taking a 3-point lead late. Looks like they're going to close out the series. Dallas battles back, and validation from Dirk Nowitzki.
The celebration is on in Dallas. An 18-7 Dallas run since San Antonio took that three-point lead. They win it overtime, 119-111. For Steve Kerr, Cheryl Miller, and our entire crew, I'm Marv Albert saying good night from San Antonio.